Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the news from SABA satellite channel from Maghreb. Here are tonight's top stories.
President Al-Alimi sends National Day congratulations to Netherlands and South Africa.
Prime Minister Az-Zandani discusses support for government reforms with UK ambassador.
International condemnation grows after killing of a sha'ir in Aden.
Welcome back. President Rashad Al-Alimi, President of the Presidential Leadership Council, sent a cable of congratulations to King Willem-Alexander of the Netherlands on the occasion of the country's National Day. In the message, President Al-Alimi wished the Dutch king, government and people continued progress and prosperity and expressed hope for further growth in bilateral relations between Yemen and the Netherlands. President Rashad Al-Alimi also sent a cable of congratulations to South African President Cyril Ramaphosa on the occasion of the South Africans' National Day. In the message, President Al-Alimi conveyed his best wishes on behalf of himself, President Leadership Council, and the Yemeni government. The Yemeni people, he wished South African continued progress and prosperity and expressed hope for further development in bilateral relations between the two countries.
Presidential Leadership Council member and Maghreb Governor Sultan Al Arada met Electricity Minister Adnan Al Qaf to review conditions in the power sector and efforts to improve service quality, raise operating efficiency, and complete the major overhaul of the Maghreb 1 gas-fired station. Al Arada received a briefing on ministry efforts to improve overhaul electricity performance, the infrastructure needs required to strengthen transmission and distribution networks, and future plans to develop the energy sector in the light of growing demand. He also reviewed technical reports on the progress of electricity projects, the obstacles affecting implementation, and work completed so far on the overhaul of the Maghreb 1 station. During the meeting, Al Arada called for faster implementation, stronger coordination, and practical results on the ground, stressing that stable electricity service remains a top priority, especially in Maghreb, which has 62% of Yemen's displaced population according to the official report. He also praised Kuwaiti support for the electricity sector, including financing or overhaul of the Maghreb 1 gas station.
Presidential Leadership Council member and Hadramaut Governor Salim Al-Khambashi met French Ambassador to Yemen, Catherine Korm-Kamoun, to discuss political and humanitarian developments in Yemen and ways to strengthen bilateral cooperation. The meeting also reviewed support for regional international efforts aimed at achieving comprehensive peace, strengthening stability, backing government reforms, improving basic services, and supporting recovery and sustainable development programs. Al-Khambashi praised France's support with the Presidential Leadership Council and the government and said that rule helps ease pressure on citizens and reinforce state institutions. For her part, Ambassador Korm-Kamoun reaffirmed France's commitment to supporting Yemen, continuing cooperation with the Presidential Leadership Council and the government, and contributing to peace efforts and humanitarian development priorities in the next phase.
Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Shaya Az-Zandani met UK Ambassador Abdul Sharif to discuss developments at the national, regional, and international levels, along with government efforts to advance reforms and improve services. During the meeting, Az-Zandani stressed the importance of continued international backing for the government's program and praised the British position in support of the government, including assistance provided through the UK-led Reform Support Initiative. For her part, Ambassador Sharif renewed Britain's commitment to supporting the government and the strengthened coordination to help sustain reforms and address the different challenges facing the country.
Yemen has condemned the shooting that struck the annual White House Correspondents Association dinner in Washington, where U.S. President Donald Trump was in attendance. In a statement, Yemen's Foreign Ministry expressed full solidarity with the United States and renewed its rejection of all forms of violence and terrorism. The ministry said it supports all measures that reinforce security and stability.
International condemnation winded after the killing of Abdulrahman al-Sha'ir in Aden, with the United States, the European Union, Germany, France, and Japan denouncing the crime and describing it as a serious act of violence. The five parties called for a full and a transparent investigation to ensure those responsible are held accountable. The international parties also reaffirmed support for government efforts to strengthen security and stability and said acts of violence undermine peace and recovery efforts. They also expressed solidarity with the Sha'ir's family with the Yemeni people.
Water and Environment Minister Tawfiq al-Sharjabi held virtual talks with U.S. Ambassador Stephen Fagan on strengthening bilateral cooperation and strategic partnership in water, environment, and climate adaptation. The meeting reviewed challenges facing the water and environment sectors following the suspension of some external assistance programs, as well as priorities for urgent interventions in the next phase. Sharjabi called for the resumption of the United States Agency for International Development Support, saying stable water and sanitation services remain a humanitarian and development priority amid water scarcity and infrastructure decline. For his part, Ambassador Fagan said the United States remains one of the main donors to Yemen through the United States Agency for International Development and is aware of the scale of humanitarian development needs in the water and environment sectors. He also praised ministry efforts in managing projects according to international standards and strengthening local institutional readiness.
And then أيضا Electricity Minister Adnan Al-Qaf met UK Ambassador Abdul Sharif to discuss the power sector service conditions and ways to strengthen bilateral cooperation in energy. The meeting reviewed current conditions in the electricity sector and the support provided by the United Kingdom for this vital field, particularly through international organizations and the World Bank, with the aim of improving services and raising the efficiency of the electricity system. Al-Qaf expressed appreciation for continued British support and said such cooperation helps government efforts to improve services for citizens. For her part, Ambassador Sharif said the United Kingdom is ready to continue supporting the government and to strengthen investment opportunities in the electricity sector in ways that help improve services and ease pressure on citizens.
Industry and Trade Minister Mohammed Al-Ashwal discussed with German Ambassador Thomas Schneider and Deputy Ambassador Sophia Herzberg ways to strengthen bilateral cooperation, expand economic and trade partnership, and support institutional development and capacity building. Al-Ashwal said the ministry is looking to benefit from German experience in industrial development, economic reform, improving the business climate, digital transformation, commercial registry digitization, and simplifying export and import procedures. He also stressed the importance of supporting Yemeni exports and expanding their access to European markets, especially coffee, honey, pomegranate, mango, grapes, and fish products. The minister also praised the development role of German institutions, especially the German Agency for International Cooperation and the German Development Bank, in supporting small and medium-sized enterprises and government capacity building. For his part, Ambassador Schneider reaffirmed Germany's interest in supporting Yemen and continuing partnership in economic development, capacity building, and sustainable growth.
Public Works and Roads Minister Hussein Al-Aqrabi met German Ambassador Thomas Schneider to discuss stronger bilateral cooperation in roads and infrastructure. The meeting also included Deputy Minister Mohammed Thabit and Deputy Ambassador Sophia Herzberg. The talks reviewed the main challenges facing the public works sector and the urgent needs for improving road networks and infrastructure to support economic development and ease transport. Al-Aqrabi said the government is keen to expand cooperation with Germany and benefit from modern expertise and technologies in roads and infrastructure projects. For his part, Ambassador Schneider said Germany is ready to strengthen partnership with the ministry and support key projects that help improve basic services. The two sides agreed to continue coordination and joint work to advance cooperation in ways that serve the interests of both countries.
Culture and Tourism Minister Muti Damaj met German Ambassador Thomas Schneider to discuss resuming bilateral cooperation in culture and tourism and ways to reactivate culture institutions in line with current needs. The talks reviewed investment opportunities in the tourism sector and deliberated governorates, ministry efforts to revive culture and tourism activity, protect antiquities and museums, and preserve historic cities. Damaj also stressed the importance of supporting culture institutions and expanding coordination with international partners to protect and organize culture heritage. The meeting also covered environmental and tourism conditions in Socotra, possible programs to help restore its tourism standing, and proposals to open the German House in Aden, coordinate with the German Archaeological Center, and build partnerships with the German museums for expertise exchange and heritage preservation.
State Minister Walid Al-Qadimi met German Ambassador Thomas Schneider and Deputy Ambassador Sophia Herzberg to discuss bilateral relations and prospects for broader humanitarian and development cooperation. According to the report, the talks focus on translating government understandings into practical programs that could help ease humanitarian suffering and support development and stability. Ambassador Schneider reaffirmed Germany's support for government efforts and its interest in expanding cooperation and backing projects that serve the aspirations of the Yemeni people.
Social Affairs and Labor Minister Mukhtar Al-Yafi'i met United Nations Population Fund Representative Francisco Gallateri to discuss stronger cooperation and the development of humanitarian and development programs aimed at improving efficiency and expanding support to the most vulnerable groups. Al-Yafi'i said the government is working to strengthen partnership with international organizations and move from emergency response towards sustainable programs based on economic empowerment, capacity building, and stronger institutional coordination. He also praised the fund's role in supporting the most vulnerable groups, especially in protecting women and addressing gender-based violence, and called for wider interventions, more safe spaces, and stronger economic support for women and young people. For his part, Gallateri reviewed the fund's program and interventions and reaffirmed its commitment to expanding cooperation with the government and strengthening empowerment and humanitarian support programs in ways that create a more sustainable impact and respond to community needs.
Governor Nabil Shamsan called for broader European Union support for include the governorate's economic plan and projects linked to the development and basic pillars, especially security and peace. This call was made during a meeting with European Union Ambassador to Yemen, Patrick Simonet, and his accompanying delegation. During the meeting, Shamsan praised European Union interventions in different sectors and said TA's partnership with the bloc reflects the governorate's place in the national sense and its cooperation with political, social, and economic components. He also reviewed the damage caused by war, siege, and attacks on infrastructure and said the situation has deepened pressure on services in governorate marked by high population density and limited resources. These were the governorate's stated position during this meeting.
For his part, Ambassador Simonet said the European Union will continue supporting Yemen in general and Taiz in particular through work on security, peace, economic support, cooperation with the private sector, and assistance to communities facing food security challenges.
And so the visit for me is really first to express our solidarity as EU to Yemen, but also to the governorate of Taiz.
وأن أعبر عن روح التعاون من جانب الاتحاد الأوروبي مع محافظة تعز.
We have a long-standing relationship with all different actors in Taiz.
ولدينا علاقة عمل طويلة مع العديد من الفاعلين في محافظة تعز.
We have worked in many different sectors, peace building.
لقد عملنا في الكثير من القطاعات في بناء السلام.
Economic resilience, food security.
والصمود الاقتصادي والأمن الغذائي أيضا.
Humanitarian support.
والدعم الإنساني.
Support to agriculture.
والدعم الزراعي أيضا.
So for us, it's to reaffirm our strong support to the governorate of Taiz, to His Excellency the Governor.
ومن جانبنا هو لتأكيد تعاوننا وتقوية علاقتنا مع محافظة تعز المتمثلة بسيادة محافظة تعز.
And obviously to the population of Taiz.
وبالطبع لسكان محافظة تعز أيضا.
So I'm really looking forward to.
That was the news bulletin from SABA satellite channel from Marib. Thank you for watching and have a good time.